So in the last video, what we have learned, how the team lead will create the new repository, and then how he will create the local Git repository, and then he will add it to the staging, and then commit the changes to the local, and then he will push the changes to the master branch, that is the uh, remote repository. So once your lead creates this, let us say I have taken this as an example. If you look at, so this is my lead access, RKPONE, where he has created one project called, let's say Git demo is the project he has created. Now what he has to do, he has to give access to the people, whoever needs to take this project into their local. For that, what he is going to do, so he is going to settings, and then he will have an option called collaborators, and then there you will be adding the people name. So you will be selecting the people name, and then for example, if I have to add Kiran is a person, Kiran, uh, you select whatever the person you wanted to add. Let us say Kiran M.Sc, and then add Kiran M.Sc to the repository. Once you add that particular person here, you will be able to see the person will be added. So similarly, what I have done, I have already added Pavan RKN. So let me show you where Pavan RKN has that or not. So if you look at, so this is, let me log into Pavan RKN so that you will be able to see that Pavan RKN is my another GitHub ID, and then click on sign in. There you will be able to see the request what I have sent it to him. So if you look at here, there is one tab here, notification. There you will be able to see, and you got a response, a request from RKPONE demo. So let's click on this, and then you can click on the accept invitation. So once you click on accept invitation, what you will be able to see is, you will be able to see the project which is from RKPONE Git repository. He has already shared it. So you will have an option to clone this project. Click on code. So there are multiple ways where you can do. So the best way is to do is, you can take this URL. So just click on this, or else you can download the project into your local, and you can import into your Eclipse. That is another way of doing. But generally, in the organization also, so the people, whoever is working with you as a lead, or somebody who asks you to import the project, either they might invite you, or they might give you the link where you need to copy the project from. So the GitHub link will be provided to you. So you just click on the link, and then open your Eclipse. So let us say I just opened another new Eclipse window, and then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a repository. Just go to the repositories, just click on repositories. Say, assume this is your new Eclipse, where you are a developer and you wanted to take that project into your local. So what you have to do is clone a Git repository. Click on that, and there it will ask you to provide the URL. So whatever the URL you have copied, you can give that URL here. Okay, so the GitHub URL you can provide. Then you need to provide your user ID. That is your, for me, it is Pavan RKN. So I have copied the user ID and the token ID. So I'm just taking that, and I'm writing the email. So as a developer, whatever your email ID is there, you just need to write it, and then you write your password and click on next. Then if you look at, it will import the project to your local, and that has only master branch, and then click on next, and then you are going to take that into your local. And so once that is done, what will happen, you will be able to complete the first step, that is clone the remote repository, your local repository, that is your working directory. So what do you mean by that? So if you look at, the project has come here. So see here, whatever the project you have taken from RKPONE, that has come here. So it has how many files? If you go on inside, see sample and sample2, these are the two files created by them. And after that, what you have to do is you have to import the project to your local workspace. So how to do that? So you have to go here, import projects. Okay, you can click on import projects. This is one way of doing it, or else you can uh, right click. You can go to file, and then import projects will be there. Okay, any of the way you can do, either you can select directly here or you can do that. And you have the project from Git, right? So you select Git, and then projects from Git, click on next. So once that is done, see, there is an existing local repository which you have already captured. Take that existing local repository and click on next, and whatever the project you have added, just select that and click on next, and then import existing Eclipse project, click on next button, and then finish it. Then automatically, whatever the project you have imported to your, that will be there into your workspace. So that project has come. Means when I join it, so whatever the project I'm going to work, so I will be importing the project into my local. So now I might be working on other module, or the same module I might be writing different classes. If you look at here, there will be a lot of classes they might be writing, or else there are a lot of methods they might be adding. Either you can work on a complete separate module, or you might be working with your team. So if you look at this diagram, see what is happening. Your lead will create the base structure of the project, and he will say that my developer 1 will be working with module 1, developer 2 is module 2, developer 3 is module 3. So what these developers are doing, so he will be creating the required class files. So what are all those class files? So you are going to generate as many class files as you want, and there are certain files which you don't touch it. So you will be adding the required number of files. Let us say I wanted to create one more new file. Let us say right click, and then I wanted to add a new class file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do here right click, and then new, and then class, and then I'll write some program, add calc. So let's say this is what the class file I have generated, and then I'm going to write a simple logic here, int a comma int b, and then system.out.println statement. I'm going to write a plus b. Assume this is what I have written, and I might be writing the int a value and b value also here. Let us say I'm just giving an example, guys. So you can have n number of items. So if you run this project, if you run this particular class, you'll be able to see some outcome, right? So whatever you write, so this is in your local repository. So once you execute the program, you will be getting 10 plus 5, 15. So like that, whatever the logic you write, so you will complete it. And before you add that to your main branch, what you're going to do is, so you just go to your repository here. And first of all, if you look at, there is no other branch here. So whatever the work we do, let us say here this developer is doing something and he wanted to send his files to uh, his files also needs to be moved to the main branch. So before he send it to the development lead, so whatever the files he is sending or he is sending, all these needs to be maintained in certain branches. So when I say branches, so all these branches are individual. So when I say these branches are individual, what is the purpose of these branches? Means developer 1, if he does something, everything will go to developer branch 1. So developer 2, everything will go to branch 2. If there is something goes wrong, so I can push back those changes to my master. So what is going to happen? So if at all, if he creates like right click and then switch to new branch, dev branch 1. If I do this and click on finish, so what is going to happen? So here you will be able to see a new branch created for this particular developer. Okay, so whatever we are sending, that entire information will go to this particular project only. Now what I'm going to do is, whatever the work I have done here, right click, team, and then add to index. That means from your working directory, you are adding it to the staging. So once that is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit the changes. That means whatever I have modified, so those changes needs to be committed. So where I'm committing to my this one, I'm committing to my branch. So added new class file. You can write whatever you want and then click on commit. So once that is done, so if you look at your repository, Git repository here, you will be able to see that file gets added into your branch. See that add calc has come. Now what we have to do is we wanted to either you can do from here or you can do from here. You wanted to move this to your remote team, go to team and then remote and then push. So once you go here, so what you're going to do is you are going to push those changes. Click on that and then next. So where you wanted to push your changes, you have to push your changes to dev branch one, not to the master. So you should not disturb the master branch. So you will be sending this to your dev one, whatever we have created, and then you are going to click on finish. So once that is done, it will ask for your user ID and password. Again, you have to give your user ID and password of your GitHub login. That is my pavanrkn@gmail.com, and then I'll be giving my password and click on login button. So what will happen? So this entire information, see here, it went to RKPONE demo. There I'll be able to see whatever I have added, the new branch went there, and then click on then close. Now you go to the RK repository and then see what is going to happen here. So if you look at this Git, so you will be able to see along with your master branch, you have one more branch which has come, that is your dev branch one. So what we will do, so under your dev branch one, whatever the files you have added, so those files have come. Okay. So this is how you are going to send this information to your lead. So what it is, what you have to do once you send that file. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in again, and then I log in as Pavan RKN user. So don't get confused, guys. I'm using two different GitHub IDs to let you know how do you work in the real environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out of this, close that, and then I log in again, and then I will make use of. See, this is Pavan Arcane ID, and I'll go to my Git demo project. Under this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my lead to review the code. So there is an option for you to raise the request for your lead to review it. So pull request. So what you have to do is new pull request. Click on pull request, new pull request, and then click on this new branch. Okay. So see here, added new class file. Open a pull request, and then you are going to write, hey, let's say your lead name is RKN. Hi RKN, I have added a new file. I have added a new file. Request you to review the changes. Write like this and then click on create pull request. So what will happen? So you will be sending that pull request, and if you see, you might have added a collaborator. So collaborator means so your lead will review that particular code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as a lead now. So sign out from here and go to your lead. This is RKPONE. then click on sign in. And then if you look at here, you will be able to see the request what the other person has sent, that you should be able to see here. See here, there is a pull request which has come. So go to this and then see whatever I have written from RKPONE ID that has come. You just need to go here and see whatever he has done. He has added some changes, and then you will be going to that and you will be understanding and you will be looking at the project. Okay, so you will go to this project and then you will see whatever the file he has added, and you will look at the code. Okay, so where is that? You have to go to dev branch one because he has given dev branch one, right? So you will read this file. So you just look at the code. If there are any standards, any review comments you wanted to update him, you will update him. And finally, what you will do is you will go to the pull request and then you will say that I have reviewed your changes. If any changes needs to be performed by your member, you will ask him to update it. Hi, some Kiran, the changes looks good. So please merge. You can do like this, or else you can ask for if there are any changes, if any corrections, you will ask him to please update the changes as per the below. That means you will be writing some text. Okay, I'm just writing some text, whatever the changes. If at all you wanted to specify anything, you will specify all those things and then you will click on comment. So this way you will continue your discussion, and then finally you will have merge pull request and then confirmation merge. That is what you will do. Once that is done, so what will happen, you will be able to see under your git demo, you will have whatever the file you have added that will come to your main repository, that is under master. So before you do the merge request, it will not be there under your master, it will be there only under your dev branch one. So this is very very important, guys. You need to understand how the request will come from your lead. Okay, so this activity you will not be participating directly, so you will be participating the activity from here. So whenever you work in any of the development project, what will happen, first of all you will be given a url, and or else you will be given the project path or the project files. For first you need to import that project to your working directory or your local git repository, and once you do that from git repository, you are going to import that into your workspace, and then you will be making your changes, and then you are going to create a new branch, and you are going to add that to staging, and then do the commit and the changes to the local repository. Then you push the changes to your new branch, and finally you will give a pull request. So pull request will be reviewed by your team lead. If there are any changes, he will be asking you to update. So this process will continue till your code is finalized, and there he is going to merge. So there are a couple of words we have used, pull and merge. So pull request is to verify your code, and based on that he will be pulling the code into his local and he will review it. Merge means he is going to add the files whatever you have added, and that will be moved to the master repository. So if there are any conflicts comes in, your lead will take care of that, and then merge the final code. So if you are a senior resource, you should be in a position to resolve the conflicts and merge the final code. And any problem comes in, again you can go back to your branch and then push the actual code. So this way you will be able to maintain the code properly. Maintain the code where you are working with multiple developers. So this applies for both manual test, automation testing, as well as development as well. Okay, so this is how you'll be working in the git. So very very important, guys. Please understand and practice.